Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tattoo Collectibles. I'm Eric, and I'm going to show you today some things that I've been getting a bunch of questions about. A lot of people are asking, once you get these tattoo collectibles in hand, and you open them in the mail and whatnot, what do you do with them then? Okay, so, like I said, we've been getting a few questions about what we do with things once we get them. Here recently on What's in the Mail, you saw these two convention posters from Scotland. Now, this is absolutely the low-hanging fruit. This is the cheapest way to start curating and framing your collection. These frames ran about $6 a piece. They were at Hobby Lobby. And they were perfect size. So these things fit almost perfectly into them. These frames they've got archival backgrounds. You definitely want to check and make sure that what you're putting your collectibles on aren't going to leach into your paper, and it's not going to cause foxing in your paper, which is like little cracks around everything. Now, I've used these frames for years. They are the low end of the spectrum as far as framing goes, but these are fine to put them in. We put those right up on the wall, so now everybody that walks into my studio gets to enjoy these. The next thing I want to show you is a step up from that. Now, when I got the Pat Martinook card and the flash, I decided, well, these two things have to go together. It shows, when you are showing them, like I was saying, the low-hanging fruit stuff there, put one thing in a frame that perfectly fits it just to keep it from getting ripped and torn up over the years. You can keep them in a tube in a back room somewhere, but nobody gets to really enjoy them that way. Now this one, I actually went out and purchased this frame. This frame was actually meant for album covers. It's a 12-inch by 12-inch. So the picture machine flash came already in like a plastic kind of backing. It's the way a lot of guys used to put flash up on their walls when they were putting flash up on their walls. And I decided to go ahead and leave it in that because to get them to center correctly and to stay once you frame them, you need to tape the back of them. Now, what I normally use is the blue painter's tape. It's a low adhesive, so when I do go to take it off, if I ever do go to take it off of this, it won't rip anything. Now, that being said, the card itself, I didn't want to put any kind of adhesive on the business cards. It lowers their value even if there's a little bit of adhesive on the back. And while I don't ever plan on taking this out, if I ever do, I want that card to be in just as good a condition as when I put it in this frame setup. So what I've done is I sent off for baseball card sleeves. Now they're very thin. They are plastic that has no PCBs in them. So again, it's not going to cause degradation of your paper or any kind of foxing or any kind of discoloration. Now some things you put them in will absolutely cause that. So be sure when you get them that they are archival. And it'll say archival on them when you buy them. Now what I do is I'll put it in one of those and like slip it into the plastic, and then I'll tape the plastic onto the back of this. So that way, if I ever do take this, dismantle this piece to sell either the flash or the card, it'll still be in the exact same condition that I got it in when I bought it. Because that's one of the things I check. I make sure everything's in good condition when I buy it, or the best condition I can get it in anyway. Now, a lot of you out there collect tattoo machines, and I do as well. And this one, I love this setup. I like how it looks. I love how it turned out. These are two Superior machines from back in the 90s. They're not particularly the greatest machines. A lot of times you'll find that the machines in the 80s and 90s, they did the job, but they don't quite do them as well as some of the more modern machines today. The guys building them today are building such precision. But anyway, I got these two, and I figured I got the two machines. I want to display them together. I wish I had a card to go with them. I went through my business cards, and lo and behold, I did have one of the blank. They used to send blank business cards that you could hand write your name on to give out to people. Now, obviously, this isn't a great option for your business card needs, but that's what they used to send you just to get you started with them. People rarely use these, and the ones that didn't use them threw them away. The ones that did use them, like I said, filled them out. This is a super rare, because now Superior's closed. They're just not open anymore at all. So again, you can actually see in this one how I did the plastic, and I don't mind the plastic showing like that. I think that it shows that you're definitely keeping them in good order. But the machines, now they were a little bit of a trick to get in here. I'll show you the back of this, and I'll show you exactly how I did it. I drilled some small holes through the back. Like I'd laid both the machines on the front and marked where I wanted these holes to be. And then I snake some wire through and just kind of wire them in. It took a minute to get this on here, but now once it is on here, it definitely looks like a decent presentation. I have this hanging in the hallway here in the shop. People stop and ask questions about this constantly. They love seeing the older stuff just hanging out in the shop. So next, I am going to give you one of my best secrets for framing things. Now, we talked about these frames, these little quick frames. They come with the little plastic pieces. It also comes with a little, I think this is for setting it upright. If you want to like set it on a desk or whatever, it comes with a little leg like for the back of it. So, again, I went to Hobby Lobby. This frame I thought was awesome. I haven't used it for anything yet. I think I'm going to put a Coble photo in here. This was on clearance. It ran $5. Now normally, normally these are $20. If I can get them for under half price, I do. So the hard part about these is they don't come with any kind of glass or any kind of backing in them. And to go out and have glass cut for these, it costs a little bit of cash to have the glass cut. And then once you put the glass in and then the picture in, you have to have something to back it and to hang it from. Now you can always put a hanger into these frames, like screwed in or nailed in. I suggest that you screw them in and not nail them in, because these are not normally wood. They're made of some kind of resin or what have you. That doesn't make them look any worse, but it definitely will crack really badly if you go to tap something into them. So just go ahead and screw them down if you're going to do that. But what I normally do is I'll buy one of these quick frames that come with the glass already and come with the framing, and they also come with the archival backgrounds. Now, what you do is you stick this glass in there. Now you have a frame with glass in it. So you put your picture in, you put your backing in there, and then this normally will wedge itself into the backs of these frames. The outside of this frame is bigger than a 5x7. It has to be to put a 5x7 piece of glass in it. So when you put them in a 5x7 frame, normally they will fit in there and they'll fit kind of tightly in there. Now with this one, what I did is I would use the plastic that came with it and just snap it in half, because if you do it a couple times back and forth, you can friction break these. And then you just stick it in the side, and it will cause it to stay in there by friction. Now this one's a little bit bigger than they normally are, so you'd have to put a couple things kind of wedged in the sides there. And then on the back, you have the hanging portion right here. So once you get this affixed in there, and I've seen people do all kinds of different stuff to affix them in there. I normally just wedge something in here, and it's held up pretty well. And then you have a professional looking frame with your Coble photo in it. When I did the Coble episode, I showed a couple of the frames that my guys have for their Coble photos. They were done the same way. So in closing today, I just want to remind you that collecting is only half of the collecting of tattoo memorabilia. The other half is actually putting it in something nice to be able to display it to the world. because the history of this thing is not always just out there written for you. And it's great to have something to fall back on to show people like these here, these Superior machines. They're not incredibly expensive, but one day they're going to be rare. And if you go ahead and put them in something like this, it just adds to the collectability of it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And coming up next week, we've been still researching the Lyle Tuttle episode. There is a ton of stuff to go through with this. But next week, I will be dropping the Lyle Tuttle shirt episode. Definitely check that one out. It is probably one of my favorite collectibles that I have. Until next week, y'all be safe out there and keep collecting.